Let me share again. All right, so this is how we can actually join our string together. Now this is a variable. What if you don't want to declare this variable, you just want to type the name directly? So you can use a single string like this and say blessing and Mike. Now this one we just use here now is a string directly, a string value directly, which is not a variable. So when you do it this way, it will still display. You can see it, it will still display it. That's nice. Then another one is okay, let's declare our age now. What if you want to just declare our age? And I'll say blessing Mike age is, then the age variable. I'll now put our age variable here. This our age variable will declare this value we've assigned to it. So let's save it and check it out. You can see that blessing Mike age is 35. So that's how to use variable. Anything you assign to that variable will be displayed anywhere you call the variable. Is that clear? All right. Okay. So now another thing is, yesterday our teacher was talking about backtick. What is backtick? Let me show us. Can you see that double character that look like a single quote? Can we see that? Yes. That's what is called backtick. Now most time backtick helps us to actually display variable without using a plus sign. And how do we achieve that? Let's do it this way. So I'm using backtick now. Mind you, this is not a single quote. Let me increase my font size so that you all will see this guy. So you can see now this is backtick and it's different from a single quote. You find it close to your number key. That's your top number key below your functional key. That's very close to letter 1. So you will see your backtick there. So now this backtick now, you can actually call your variable directly from inside it without you using plus sign. So how do I go about that? I want to use this first name variable now. So how do I do it? Let me just copy the name directly. And inside it now, you start with, if you want to call a variable inside the backtick, you start with your $sign. Then after that, you have your curly bracket. Then you put your variable inside. So anything you declare this way will be displayed as variable directly. Let's refresh the page. Can you see that? Are they doing okay? So now let me remove this $sign and this curly bracket and let's see what happens. It will not show the value of this variable. It will instead display the text, which is first name, and not the variable. Can we see that? So now to make it display the variable, you have to use that $sign with a curly bracket. Then you put your variable inside it. So this is our first name space. Now I'm adding space without putting plus sign. So now I'll just put the second variable there, which is last name. Sorry, last name. Then first name, last name. So are they doing joy age or is? Let me put is. Then I want to add the what's it called, the age. So I'll still use the same thing, our $sign, your curly bracket, then age inside. That's our variable. Is 35 years old. Can you see that? Because now I want to add a space in between, so I don't have to be putting plus space, double quotes, plus double quote space, plus double quote space. So I can actually write everything together with normal spacing. It's just to be inserting my character. So that's the essence of using your backtick key character rather. So let me save this and display it and check it out rather. Can we see that? Adedoyin Joy is 35 years old, which is cool and nice. Alright, so if you want to get a response from your user from the alert box using dialog stuff, you use something we call prompt. Now when I hover on this thing, the VS Code is actually showing me the number of parameters I can pass to this method. This prompt is actually a function, and it actually takes about okay, it takes two parameter. The first one is the message, while the second one here you can see default or string. So let's see how it goes. So the message now might be how old are you? So the second value here, now when you see something like this, let me go back. When you see something like this in a function, you can see message string or undefined. It's actually telling you that you can call this method without passing this parameter into it. It can still take undefined, and what is called undefined is a variable without a value. That's what is called undefined. Okay, let me explain that better. Take for example here, I declare a variable called gender, and this gender now, can you see that I didn't assigning value to it, right? So this type of variable now, if you try to use the value, it will tell you is undefined because you didn't assign any value to it. Computer only creates a memory space for it without putting any value in it. So let's see what will happen. Let me comment this out so that it won't confuse us. Are we still together, please? You can see it undefined because there is no value assigned to that variable called gender. So if I should go back here now and assign a variable to it by using equals to May, then you will see that the gender will now be showing May because I've assigned value to it. Alright, let's go back. So now let's display our prompts. What's it called? Our prompt method. Can you see that? How old are you? And I want to say my, okay, let me just put 65. Okay, so that's how you can actually get a response from user using a prompt, but it's not a must. So now this other guy, I want to put a value to it, say Mark. Let's run it and see. You can see it will just get the default value for you. Alright, let's continue. That's not where we are going to. So this is how you can actually use your JavaScript. What I just did now is just the basic of JavaScript and data type. And yesterday we did something like what's it called again? Oh my god, we did sorry, can someone remind me what else we did yesterday? My people, are we together?
Yes.
What else did we do yesterday?
Function.
No, we didn't do function yesterday. I know. Really? I guess we were only using function. We don't actually treat it as.
Yes.
I know we were using function. What is it? This it. No, we didn't use this loop. We only use. I think this is what we did. We deal with yesterday. Actually, we call it control structure, and that is your logical operation using if else. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me check. Okay, it seems that's what they have to offer here. Nothing more. Okay, let's go. I don't know what our teacher actually have for us tonight. So now, if you want to check a condition to know which one is right and which one is wrong, and I'm telling you, you will always use this in your what's it called, in your code throughout your lifetime as a developer, as a programmer. If else, you can't escape it. You can't escape it irrespective of the language you are writing. And the good thing about it is that most languages, let me say all the languages, they have it, and they also implement it the same way. So now the if else condition is a logical method that helps you to make a logical decision. take for example you want to say if the time is 3 o'clock, let the alarm sound or ring, and if not, let nothing happen. Or better still, if let me say how will I put it now? Okay, if the month is January, then change the color of the page to blue. But if the month is March, change the color of the page to yellow. Those are the conditions you can actually use in your what, in your code. So let's see how we can actually do that. So now we have if, we have else, and mind you, you cannot use this else without if. When you are speaking, when you are talking to someone and say that if you don't get this else do this, so you can't use this else without previous if declare. And at the same time you can use only if without using else, and you can also cascade many if else. So let's start with if. So now mind you, my age is what, is 35. Okay, let me just declare two people with the same age. Let me say let John age to be 20, like 20. Then let's whose name now, Mary age to be 10. Now mind you, just observe the way I'm writing my variable here. Anytime I want to write two words together, I always start the second word with what, with capital letter, the first letter with the second word with capital letter. That's what we call camel casing. Now camel case rather. So if you are writing in this way, John age, Mary age, is this one easy to read? Hello, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Is this one easy to read? This variable, is it easy to read?
No.
No. But for readability, you actually what, you change to camel case like this. Why, for those people that have actually been writing PHP, they will discover that instead of using camel case like capital letter, they will just use underscore and age, which is still acceptable. But in JavaScript, most time you hardly see anybody using underscore to separate two words, two words variable. So instead of that, you use capital letter, Mary age. So now I want to check whose age is higher here or bigger here. So now let's use our if condition here now. So if John age John age is greater than Mary age, say what, alert, tell us something. If it's greater than Mary age, let's say John is older. Can we see this? So this is the condition now, and then my condition here is just this: if John age is greater than Mary age, then tell us that what, John is older. So let's see what will happen in our page. Refresh it. John is older. Can we see that? Okay, enough of writing from the file. Let's go to our main page and write it there. So I decided not to write my JavaScript inside this external file, so I want to write inside the page itself. Then I will now come here under it, declare another script here. Can you see that? And inside it now, here this one doesn't need src because you are writing it directly inside this tag. So let me just declare two variable here. Let's mark age. Mind you, the variable inside this guy here is still available inside this code here, inside this file. I can still use it. So now I will say let mark age now equals to 25, or let me say 50. Now I will now say if John age is greater than mark age, then alert and say John is older. Let's check that out. John is older. Is that true? I don't know. Let me go and check. Let's check our file. Is John older than this guy? No. John age is 20. Oh, sorry. This is the one that is actually working. Let me comment this guy out. Let's go back to our code. About. Okay, so if I should run it now, you won't see anything. Yes. Why are you not seeing something? Because John is never older than Mark. Because John here from our script here, the one we link, John is just 20, and here what is it, John is just Mark is 50. So now let's reverse this condition to less than. This is the less than, and let's refresh the page. Can you see that John is older? It work. So now we have different conditional characters, or like even use now different condition that you can actually use in your code. Like now I've used to now, greater than, less than. And now before I even move on to explaining that, I want you to note something here. My John age variable is not declared here, but I'm using it here. Why? Where is John age? It's declared in our external file, but mind you, I've already linked our external file to this page here, so it's still available inside it. All the code inside this file is already available inside this file too, because I've linked them together. So that's why I can use John age directly. So which means that you can write something inside your external file and be using it in your web page directly. Maybe it's a function or anything. So the same thing I have for Mary's age, so I can use Mary's age. Now what I've done so far here is just to use only the if condition. So now what about S? So let's try S. So I'll take this guy to be this, and okay, yes, and I'll take this guy to. So if John age is greater than Mark age, then use John is older. But if now you can see S now, that's my but. S if John, now this S now you don't have to put a condition to it again. Like you want to write S and you write condition this way, it will actually throw you an error. S keyword doesn't need a condition again, because it's actually a kind of the opposite of the condition you've already declared here. It abrogates the first condition. So what you're actually telling the system that if this condition is not true, then any other condition that is not the same thing with this one, that's what you should do here. So that's why we don't always include this condition to S keyword. Are we together? All right. So now, and mind you can see the way I'm writing my code is very neat. After each word I always put a what, a space, a single space, so that it will be readable. And I don't write everything on a single line like this. I know some people might be tempted to do that. Sorry, let me collapse that. They might be tempted to write everything on a single line like this. You can do it just to make your code to be concise, but for a learner like you, I would prefer you actually separate this guy to, don't put your code in front of this curly bracket so that you won't get confused. Because if you are writing some languages that are sensitive to characters and code, you might run to error by forgetting to close a tag. And take for example now, let's say you just forget to close this one, you forgot to close this tag here now, and you want to run your code, it will lead to an error. Now you won't know that something has happened, but until you inspect. Now there's another way you can inspect your code. Just go to your console here, you see the error. You can see that unexpected token S. Why? Because you didn't close this tag. So before you declare S keyword, it's actually expecting if S condition to have been completed, and that's this. Are we together? So let me run it now. You will see it is the alert. John, oh sorry, that's not correct. I've not changed this one. John is okay, let me change it to if Mark, that will be Mark. Now Mark is older. So if John age is greater than Mark age, then alert John is older, S Mark is older. I guess that condition is correct, right? So let's confirm it. You can see that Mark is older, which is correct. Now let's change the Mark age now to something like 10. and let's say John is older. Can we see that? Please, I need a response.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so now what if I want to even check the age difference between John, Mark and Mary? Mind you, we have our Mary here. I can declare everything together in the same place. I just want you to understand how you can interact between your external file and your internal script, JavaScript. Excuse me. So let's go back. So now we have our Mary here, and Mary is what? Mary is 10 years old. So let's go back and see how we can write a function. Now I told you we have if, else and if else, but else is always the last one. So which means that if you have another condition that is different from this one and you want to put that condition there, you know you can add it to this else here. So you have to declare another variable here, call it else if. Else if, that's another condition. Then you can now write your condition in front. Sorry, I want to copy something else here, and you declare it this way again. Mind you now that even though I'm writing else if, my else if is always above my else, while else is the last one. And mind you too that else if always have a condition, just like if, and you can't declare else if without a previous if, so you should take note of that. So why do I want to do else if now? If John age is greater than Mark age, allow John is older. Else if Mark now is greater than John age, then say what? Mark is greater. Mark is older. Let me just write it finish. Mark is older than John. Why John is older than Mark. So now I have another else condition here. If this guy is not true and this guy is not true, then their age must be equal, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
Hi.
if John age is not greater than Mark age and Mark age is not greater than John age, then John age and Mark age must be the same thing. Then I have another condition. So then you can have what we call assignment operator. No, this is not assignment operator. Comparison operator. Now all these character you are seeing here for your condition, they call them operator. So just take note of that. So this is our comparison operator. The one we use here, this single equals to here, is what we call assignment operator, because you use it to assign a value to a variable. That's why we call it assignment operator. But it's different from this double equals to here. This double equals to is not assignment operator, it's actually comparison operator used to compare between variables to know if they are actually equal. So what I'm doing here is that if John age is equal to Mark age, then tell us that what? Alert John and Mark are of the same age. Oh, sorry, I'm having error here. Why? Can someone tell me why I'm having error in my alert function here? You can see those things have been underlined because there is an error. Why? Someone should try, please.
There's no quotes. There's no quotes
God bless you, ma.
in the alert.
That's very, very correct. Because what I was trying to write here is actually a string and not a variable. And all these things can't even be a variable. So I want to write a string, so I need to always start my string with either double quote or single quote or backtick. Do you get that? So but what I want to do here is what I prefer using double quotes. I'm used to that, using double quote for string. So then my test inside. Alright, let's save this guy. And if none of these guys here is correct, then do this. I don't know again. So if this condition is correct, do this. If this condition is not correct, if this first condition is not correct, then go to the next condition and check. If the next condition is correct, do it. But if the next condition is not correct, go to the third condition and check. If the third condition is correct, do this. But if the third condition is not correct, then go to the last condition, which is S. But if the first condition here is correct, none of this guy will run again. Are we together? So it will always check the first condition. If the condition above is correct, it will not bother checking the other condition below it. And if the top condition are not correct, it will continue to check till what? To the last one that will be correct. And if none of this is correct, it will run the default one, which is what? S. So let's check this out. Testy. John is older than Mark. Can we see that? John is older than Mark. Why? Because Mark age is what? Is 10. Why John is 20. So now you even want to know the value of this age, because we are not even seeing the age here now because we declared the John age in another file. So how do we even know it? You can log it. There's a way you can log the value of your variable. And how do you do that? Let me just do it here before our condition. So I'll use what we call log. Sorry, the way I wrote it, you might not used to it. Let me write it. Sorry. Just write console dot log, showing that what you want to log something in our console. Then you put your bracket, because it's a function, it's a method, so you always have to put your bracket. And what variable do you want to declare? Let me just say John age. This is my string, so I can write it inside double quote. And you put comma there. Mind you can still use your plus sign to declare John age here. You just put John age variable here and you will get it. But here now, let me just put a space here now. So let's see what will happen. Save it and run it. Alright, can we see something here? This is our log here. Anything you log in your file will always appear. Oh my god. Will always appear here. Can we see this thing together? Please, are we together? Alright, this is the log. John age is 20. So at the same time, we can as well add another value to it. So you can see that what I added comma to it because I want to add another parameter to this log, and that will be for mark age. So let me just mark age, then plus mark age. Then we have another one, which is Mary's age. Let me add Mary age. Please, we are not doing English here. That's why I won't bother to be correcting English. Alright, so you can see the way I declare what I want to log all the age, so that I will know if my condition is correct or not correct at least. So now let's run it. Can we see it here? John age is 20 and Mark age is 10. Mary's age is 10. Alright, so we already know our age. So now here, the condition here now says what? If John age greater than Mark age, then alert John is older than Mark. Now, if you don't want to be using this alert method, you just want to be logging the response, you can use this log here, console log, instead of alert. So instead of this one now, I can just come here, put my console log, then copy this response here now and put it inside here. Let me do the same thing here. At least, then put this response inside here. So if I don't want to be alerting anything on my page, I can just log it inside my console log. At least nobody will see it until they inspect the page. So now let me run this guy and see again if it's working. You can see John is older, which is giving us the right value. And from here you can see that John age is 20, Mark age is 10. So let's change the Mark age to like 50. We have 50 now. Then let's run it again. You can see that what Mark is older than what John. So you can use console log instead of alert method to actually see what you are doing and what is going on. Okay, so now let's include this guy into the whole equation. Okay, what if their age is actually equal? Let's say Mark is 20. Let's check it out. You can see John and Mark are of the same age. So that's because we use alert. That's why we are not seeing it on the console. You can see that. So this is how you do your what? Your conditional method or control structure. Is this clear? Hello? Are we together? Alright.
Yes, sir.
Now, there is another one we call street checker in JavaScript. Now, that street checker, this method I use here now, I use double equals to, but you when you check other scripts, other JavaScript files, you might be seeing 3 instead of 2. Why? This 3, it will strictly check for the data type. Now the one we use initially, which is double quote, it won't check for the data type. It will just check on a surface, like if the value is actually the same thing. Take for example, now we have Mark age to be 20, the same thing with John age, right? But mind you, this guy is number and this John age is also integer, which is number, integer. So now if I should come back and change this Mark age to string now instead of integer, you know this one is a string now because of this double quote. Now it's no more an integer like John. And let's see what will happen. They are the same age and I want to see if it will still recognize it. You can see that John and Mark of the same age. Now, but in actual sense, that ought not to be. Yes, it ought not to be, but JavaScript will still forgive you, like you are comparing integer and string, though they are of the same value, but in actual sense they are not the same thing, because the first one is integer, the second one is a string. But you can still be writing your JavaScript that way, it will be working, nothing will be wrong with it. But where you will run to problem is when you are actually expecting an integer and you are getting a string. In that case, it might make your code or your app to crash, especially when you are doing multiplication, division and the rest. Are we together? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, together.
We are together, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me shock you and show you something here. I want Mark it to be 2. Let's run it. John is older than Mark, it will still check it. Now if you want to use a street checkings, now a street comparison, you now use triple equals to. This triple equals to will now check for the data type and the value. Are we together? So which means that this 20 string and 20 integer will no longer be the same thing again if you are using triple equals to, just like this. So let's check it out. You can see that I don't know again. That's our last condition. If none of the condition is correct, this is it. Why is it not seeing them as the same thing? Because your integer is actually different from your string. And even in some languages, string sometimes is always higher in value than integer. Even though it's 2020, when you try it in another language, you will see that 20 in the string will be greater than 20 integer. Are we together? Because the value of a string is always greater than integer, because by the time the computer will be processing it, it will actually process this guy as a different value. It will take it one after the other as a string value. So that's why it's like that. Okay, so which other condition can we check? Instead of maybe you want to check if John is greater or equal to Mark age. So I still want John to be the leader of the group. Maybe you are creating the group and you want the person that must lead the group to either be older than Mark or of the same age with Mark. So how do you go about it? So instead of declaring this equals here now, I can just comment this guy out and declare using a single value. If John is greater or equals to, this is the sign for greater or equals to. Do you see that? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm actually
Yes.
doing here now, I'm combining two conditions together using or. If John is greater or equal if John is greater or equals to Mark age, then says John is still a leader. John is still a leader. So let's check it out. Can you see that John is still a leader? Now let's do our street typing. I'm not sure if that guy will work here. I've not actually used it before. This is not correct. You can only use that street typing for your um, double equals to. All right. Oh my goodness. What else? What else? What else? What else? So this for the greater or equals to. Now to use less than or equals to, use your less than sign and equals to equal sign. That's less than or equals to condition. So if you run it, if John age is less than or equals to Mark's age, and if you want to use and, like and, maybe you want to use and now, any of it. So let's say if John equals to 20 or Mark equals to 20, then what should happen? Just say something, both of them can lead. So let's check it out. You can see both of them can lead. And mind you, where is the or operator? This is the or operator. This particular operator here or character here, we call it pipe. What do I call it? Hello.
Fine.
Pipe character. So, and yes, on your keyboard, most keyboard is always directly at the top of your left enter key on your keyboard, directly on at the top. So this is what our pipe character key, and you just use the two of that pipe to what, to clear your or condition. So what I'm doing is that if John age is equal to 20 or Mark age is equal to 20, then do this. And I can as well say if John age is greater or equals to 20 and Mark age is equal to 20, do the same thing. It will still be what, be valid. Can you see that? It will still be valid because Mark age is John age just is 20 yet. So if I should increase maybe John age now here to 60, and I still run the condition, it will still be correct. Both of them can lead. But if I change this condition here now to if John age is less than or equals to 20 and Mark age equal to 20, it will still be valid. Why? Because there is a condition that is balancing it. It's just like you send someone an errand that the person should help you get a food, and you said if you see rice and beans, buy it. But if you don't get rice and beans but rice is available, get me rice. Or if you see jollof rice, get me jollof rice. So in that case now, you're actually telling the person that if rice and beans is not available, the person can actually get you jollof rice. You will still what, get your food. But if rice and beans is not available and jollof rice is not available, which means that what, the person shouldn't buy anything again. So that's just the condition here. Now if John age is less than 20, less or equal to 20, which means that if John age is 1 from 0 to 20, is still valid. And if John age here, if none of this condition is valid but this guy here is valid, it will still run. Now you now want to use and condition. So I want to say, okay, if John age is less or equal to 20 and Mark age equal to 20, this is the sign for and, double ampersand character. You can see that, and you always see this on your letter, on your key 7 on your keyboard. That's where you always find this ampersand sign. So this ampersand character, now you just use two of it to represent and condition. And in logic how would I call it, sorry, I didn't find the right word to use now. For those people that did electronics, they always use logic gate. So in logic, this ampersand sign actually represents and. And logic means that the two condition must be the same thing. When you remember your probability in school, in probability anytime you are using and, it always means what? Multiplication, or the two condition must be true before you can perform the operation. So which means that for this guy to display here, John age must be less or equal to 20 and Mark age must be equal to 20. What does that mean? Okay, you want to send someone an error and I said that okay, Emmy gets pounded yam and jollof rice. Probably the person doesn't know the reason why you are sending him or her to get pounded yam and jollof rice. Probably your partner is with you and you want to give your partner the other food, and this guy just went to get the food for you and return with only pounded yam. And when this guy come back to you, won't you ask the guy that, how far, I think I ask you to get pounded yam and jollof rice, why is it that you only get pounded yam, where is the jollof rice? And the guy said that, toh, since he thought that it's only you that will be eating, why should he get pounded yam for you? How will you feel? You feel bad that this guy is naughty. Like, how will he just get something like this? This is the condition I gave to you, buy this and this, why are you now buying only one thing? You understand? So that's the essence of and condition. The two condition must be valid before anything inside this scope must run, inside the block code must run. So that's the essence of and. But for all actually means alternative. If this is not available, then use this other one, but if both of them are not available, then discard the whole condition. Are we still together?
Yeah.
Alright, so let me run this guy because I know that this guy will fail, because it will fail. Do you see that it has failed now? And you can as well check your condition with console log. You can check your condition with console log, and console log will tell you if it's either false or true. Console.log. So now I want to check this guy here if it is true, if this condition is true. You know, mind you, it's only if your condition here is true that it will actually work. This code is becoming too long for me. I want to remove these guys. I don't need them now. So let's run this code here and see what will happen. Mind you, I only put the condition inside this console log, which is still correct. So let's see what the console will log for us. Can you see that? False. Which means that what? That condition is not true. And this code here will not run because the condition is not true. So now let's change it now and change to greater or equals to 20. Mind you, our John age here is 50, so it's 60, which is greater than 20, so which means that is correct. So the condition now, and our Mark age here is 20. Let me change you into integer. It's 20. So I expect it to run now, and let's see what will happen. Can you see that? True. John age, so it's true, and our condition here doesn't run. What happened? Can someone tell us why? Is it that this condition is not correct or what? This guy doesn't run. I can't find it. I can't see it on our console log. Let me check again. And the condition is true, but it's not running. Okay, let's comment out this our console log and see again. Oh, what is happening? Anything? Are we doing anything wrong? Oh, sorry. Okay, someone should tell us why this thing is not showing on our console. I was actually expecting this guy to show, but it's not showing. Someone should tell us why. Hello, are we still together?
Yes, sir. We are trying to figure it out.
Please.
Yes, we're together.
I change what? Age of John. Okay. No, I will not change age of John. Another option.
Not true.
Is
If John is less or equal to 20,
it's not true, right?
so it's the first one that is, yes, it's the first one that is
All right, God bless you, my brother. I like this your option. I will not go with Mr. Yin's option. So this one now will now change to greater than, because this is what the valid condition. So the condition we're actually running before was not actually correct, and that's why we're not seeing this test. So let's run it and see. You can see that true and what both of them can lead. So it's showing now. So this is how you can actually use your conditional statements. Your if else, if else. And okay, let me now do another magic for you guys. What if I put one and run it? Okay, before running it, will it show this test or not? Hello, who is calling me now? Hello, are we still together? Hey, are we still together? I need a response.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
I
I
can hear
said the
you.
first condition will run, but the second one, I'm not sure it's wrong. The if so so the first one will run. It's true.
Okay, if one will run,
I said the first condition will run. That
this.
condition
Okay, yes.
that should run.
But you are not sure
And
of
the
this
second,
one.
I'm not sure it's
All right. Pardon me, please. When I was explaining the different data type the other time, I actually forgot that boolean. I omitted it. There's another data type called boolean, and this boolean data type is
that's false.
it could either be what, zero or one, false or true. And in programming, sorry, I'm coming, please. Please, just give me 1 minute. Hello, are we together? Hello.
Yes.
Alright, so there's a data type called boolean, and boolean can only take false, sorry, false or true. So if you cannot assign any other thing to this boolean variable, so this boolean is a data type, so it must always have a variable. Let's say status. Sorry, status is a keyword, and that's why the thing just underline directly, flag it directly. Let me use another thing. uh, let me say, what can I use now, sef? uh, Someone should suggest something, anything. Okay, let me say may. That's the value, and the main value should be false. False. Now this may here now mind you, if you are using javascript, you don't need to be declaring your data type. I just declared for us to know that I want to use boolean. So anytime javascript see any variable with this false, you always know that what, this is a boolean variable. So it's still let may equal to false. So this may now can only take either false or true keyword. And if you don't want to use false or true, 0 and 1, 0 also means false in programming, while 1 means true. Is that correct? Sorry, are we together?
Yes.
All right, so let me go back. So here now, this one actually means true, which means that this condition will always be true as long as it is 1. So let's run it and see if you will get that alert. Can we see that it will run? And if you put 0, 0 always means false, it will not run. Let's check it. You can see that the alert is not showing. So and at the same time, if you use your, let's say, um, there's another way you can actually run it in JavaScript, but though other programming language doesn't allow some of those things. Take for example, you want to write a function, maybe a status function now. Let's um oh my god, gender status. Now this is your variable now. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This is your variable here now, gender status. Mind you, I didn't actually add a value to it. I only declare it without a value. So and this one now, if you should log it, what are we going to get? Undefined, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So your undefined is still the same thing as false. So if I should put it inside here now, it will not show anything. Let me run it. You can see that it won't show anything because your undefined variable is still false. But if you assign a value to this guy now, any value at all, either integer, anything, and you check it like this, it will see it as true because it has a value. So let's check it. Can you see that? It will always be true. So any variable that has a value will always be true inside the condition. And any variable that doesn't have a value will always be false inside the condition. Is that clear? And there's another data type in JavaScript, another data type called non-label, sorry, another variable called non-label variable. Non-label variable are variable that can take a null value. Take for example, I want to say I don't have a value for that particular variable at hand now. Let's say that, okay, let me say user age. Now at this point I don't know user age, but I don't just want to make it undefined, so I just want to make it non-label. So this non-label, you will get to understand it later. I might not go into the details of this variable, non-label variable. So this non-label variable now, if I should use it here now, usage, and I put user age here now, it will still the same thing as false. No, undefined and false, they're actually the same thing. So let's check it out now. You see that it will not run. Can you see that? Now there's a way you can also abnegate the value. Like if you want to change false value to true, there is a particular character called not operator. There's a not operator which will abnegate any value. So and that operator is that exclamation mark. Your exclamation mark here. Do you see that? That's your not operator. So it will always abnegate the value you put into it. If you put true in front of this guy, it will turn into false. If you put false in front of it, it will turn into true. Just like a lawyer in court. Sorry if I barrister, please pardon me. Hello, are we still together? Oh God.
Yes.
So now this one now, mind you, this our, okay, I will not assign anything to this guy again. Okay, let me leave it. Mind you, the other time we use user age, only user age, it doesn't really show anything because the value is null and it's the same thing as false. But if I should put it here now, it will show. Do you see that? Why? Because when you add this character at the back to a false value or null value or undefined value, it will change to true. And if this guy is true before, let's say I just put true here, which ordinarily will show. Let's save it and check it. Do you see that it show? But if I should add that character at the back here, you see that it will not show again because it will change this true value here to false. It will just change to opposite. So and it will not show. Can you see that? So there are many places you can actually use that one too, and most time you'll be using it. So it's a useful operator in conditional checking too. Oh my god. Hello, are we still together?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if you are getting anything tonight.
We are.
It's just a recap of what we did yesterday. Okay, so that's how you can use your conditional statement, if else, and your operator like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, less than, equals to, then your streeter equals checking, that's triple equal to, then getting your real value. So that's how you can do that, and we'll talk about the console log to log any value at all. So, and you have your alert to display anything on the screen, but most time you'll be using this console log. All right, let me clear this guy. Is this clear?
Yes, we are getting it small, small.
All right, and don't worry, it's small, it's become bigger soon. Okay, sorry, I'm just actually getting dehydrated. Okay, so the other one we need now to know is what we call uh loop. We call it loop, and some people also call it control structure, anyone they want to call it. And it's a kind of a iteration method, and that is, we have, maybe you want something to display 10 times, you want something to count many times. So we have about four of them. We have four, no, we even have many of it. We have four method, we have for loop. Javascript actually have a lot of them, but in a programming language like C++, it's just about four. Okay, let me just define the preliminary one first. We have for, we have y method, then we have do y method, then we have for y do y. Then after these three, most programming language have these three. Then after these three, then we have another one called what, in JavaScript we have a lot of them. Like we have for loop, we have map, you see a loop, and we have for, sorry, did I just write for loop here? Sorry, this is not correct. For each, we have for each, we have map, we have filter. All these method work on a iteration value. Filter, we have every, there are many of them, but in order not to bother you with all those things, let's start with the preliminary one, which is for loop. So if you want to use this for loop now, you have to declare three parameters for it. The first one is the variable int, let's say int I, then you put your semicolon. Then the next one is the condition, and the condition could be if I, okay, I is sorry, I made a mistake here. Int I, you have to declare the value, you have to assign the value to it immediately so that you don't run to error. So the value is 10, and as long as I is less than uh 10, that's the condition, then continue to increase the value of I. So how do I know if this value is being recorded? So I will be using my console log now. Console, someone's mic is actually on, let the person mute it for us please. Alright, so now you can see now int I equals 10 and I less than 10, I plus plus. But now you can see that this guy is actually what's he doing, flagging my I as error. Why? Because I'm not writing C++. So instead of using int, just use your let keyword. I'm not writing Java, I'm not writing C++, so I'm not writing all those language like Golang. So it's actually expecting you to use your JavaScript keyword like let or variable to declare your variable I. So don't use int. Alright, so I want to display the value of I as this guy will be counting down, or counting up rather. And let me just put a string before it. And this guy will say I value of I is Let me use colon. All right, let's run this guy. Anyway, I'm not seeing anything here. Something is wrong. What is wrong? Let I equal to 10. I less than 10. Yes, this is not correct. It should increase from 0 to 10, not from 10 to 10. And mind you, at that our I initial value is actually 10, and 10 here is already equal to 10, so it will not run, because the condition is if I is less than 10, so it will stop at 9. So let's run this guy now. It will not run. Can we see this? Hello. So now you can see that what the value of I is what is increasing with by one value, and it stop at 9. Why? Because the condition says that what, when I less than 10, that's when it's what, it should stop. That's the limit. And in what this condition here, I plus 1 actually means increment by 1. So now if I should change this one to less or equals to, now it will stop at 10, because I have declared to be if I value is less than 10 or equal to 10, you continue to run this guy. Let's check it out. Can you see that what it has what increased to 10? So that's how you can handle that with your condition. And at the same time, I can decide not to be incrementing this guy by 1. I can decide to be incrementing by 2. So I can change this guy to equals to 2. Are we together? You can see the way I put my equal sign in front of my plus sign. That means that what, it should increment I by 2 and not by 1. Let's check it out. I hope Francis is not doing rubbish. Can we see that? 0 plus 2, 2, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10. Can you see that? So that's how you can do your what, incremental condition. 4, and that will stop at 8. Can you see that? So that's how you can do this. But if you just want increment by 1, just put double equals to, and it will be incrementing by 1. Alright, so if you want to count down from maybe 10 to 0, how do you go about that? Then your initial value here should be higher, while your condition here now should be turned around, and your value you are going down. So which means that what, this I should be counting towards the end value, which is 0. So that will be if I is greater or equal to. Now I've changed the condition from if I is less than to if I is greater than 0. So let me use this one first. If I is greater than 0. Now imagine, just look at this place very well. This condition says that it should be incrementing by 1. So which means that if I should run this condition now, it will start from 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and this condition will never be true, and it will continue to run this thing to infinity, and that can lead to memory leaks. It can affect your system. If I should run this guy now, let me risk the guy. I'll just be fast. I'll just leave the page. Do you see that? Do you see that? Let me stop it before my system will crash. So let me change this guy to minus before my system will crash. Alright, you can see now the thing is just loading. It will not stop today. Oh my god, the guy don't crash. I have to close this guy. Let me just close this tab and open it again. It don't crash. Can you see that? So that's what run code can do to your system. You see, so ensure your condition is correct, and don't panic. You can always close the tab when the thing is getting out of hand. Just close the tab, it will stop. So you can see now I've changed my condition to minus, which means that what, it will be subtracting 1 from this 10 till it gets to 0 or 1, because it's greater than 0. So this I will stop at 1. So now it will be what, 10 minus 1, then this one will show 10. The first one will show 10. After that one, 10 minus 1, 9. After that 9 minus 1, 8. And that's why we actually got this value here. But if you want 0 to be included, just make this one to be greater or equal to 0, and you will see 0 among the value here. Can you see that? And at the same time you can also decide to subtract by 2 equals to what? Minus 2. Minus equals 2, so it will always be subtracting 2 instead of 1. Let's run it. Can we see that? So you can put a number there. So that's how you can do this. Is this clear?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Very fine.
So now to achieve this thing with while loop, how do you go about it? Your while loop, while, then your condition first. Your condition does not necessarily need to what? To be long. It's not even, it doesn't even need to be long like this. Just declare your, now mind you, this let I equal to 10, you can declare it outside this condition, your condition statement here. So this guy can just cut it here and put I here and declare it here. Do you see that? It will still run. Let me comment this guy out. You can see that it still work. So instead of writing this let I equal to 10 inside here, I can just declare it outside and put my I inside. Is that clear? But most time, in order not to confuse us, just know the one that is best for you. And at the same time I can declare only I without giving it a value, and now give it a value inside here. It will still work. Are we together? You can see it's still working. So but I won't anyone that is working for you, because you can see different programmer using different method that is best for them. All right, but sometimes I used to prefer this first method, just to ensure that I've declared it, and if anything should go wrong, then it can be from this declaration. All right, let's achieve the same thing using while loop. So I'll comment this guy out now. So for here I will just say let I equals to 10. Then while I, this guy, the best way to do it, you have to declare your I outside. So let I equals to 10. And in my condition, inside the while condition here, I will now say while I is less than 10, continue to run this code here. While I is less than 10, continue to do this thing. You understand? While that man has not passed, continue to watch till the man pass, and what? Alert me when the man is passing. So that's just what the why. You continue to do, you continue to perform that particular condition until the condition is being satisfied. So that's the essence of why loop here. So while I is less than 10, continue to what? Display I. But I will show you something. Nothing happens. Why? Why? Because I is not less than 10. Are we together? So which means that I will change the initial condition to 0. Another problem that I want to cause for my system, because this guy will actually run to infinity. Let's see what will happen. Let me see how I will close this tab. Let me copy this tab first, because I know it will run to infinity. Can you see that? The guy continues to what? To run. Can you see that? Hello? Can we see it? Alright. So that this is how it will continue to run, because the condition is always true. Let me close this tab. I know it will take time to close. Don't mind the guy. Close. No by force. Alright, now let me go back. Hey, wait. I don't cause problem again now. Let me close it. I don't cause problem. I will correct them before doing that. Okay, now, so to make this guy not to behave that way, then I have to increase the value of my I till I get to what? 10. So I will now do I plus plus. Can we see that? So anytime this while runs, it will display I, increase the value by 1, and continue till the value will be equal to what? 9, equal to 10. So let's see this guy now. It will not run to infinity now. So let's inspect it. Can we see it? 0 to 9. The same thing goes for if you are starting from higher to like higher value to lower value, then this will be less than. If I is greater than 0, then it will continue to display it, and while you subtract the value from 10 till it gets to 0. So let's check it out. I guess I've not saved it. Can you see that? From 10 to 1. So this is how you can use your while loop. And there's another one now called do while. It's almost time. Do while is that do what I say before complain. Obey before complain. That's do while. Is that correct? Do you get that? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So when you are using do while condition is obey before complain. Do what I ask you to do before you complain. That's do while. So I will tell this guy now to inside it show me the value of I before you begin to do anything. So obey before complain, and this will be, I will now put my condition while condition here. So do this while you check for this question why I is less than 10. So continue to display this while I is not equal to 10, and after you display this increase the value of I so that it will not run to infinity loop. So let's check it. So do you see that guy display false? Ah, oh my god, it's not showing anything. What happened? Sorry, our I is actually 10. Initial value must be less than the limit. Can you see that? Value of I is 0, 1, 2, 3. It will continue to show it. So what we are actually doing here is what? Obey before complain. Do this while you check the condition. So the difference between do while and while is that the while loop, it will first check for the condition before it runs what is inside. While do while first run what is inside before it checks the condition. Is that clear? And you can use this while and do while loop to actually perform different conditional operation, loop operation. Why for now the difference between this guy while and do while is this: I can have a condition here to be repeating the same thing over and over until that condition become false or true. While in my for loop I can't have such condition. The for loop must take initial value and the limit value, the limit condition rather. But for while loop is just a condition, doesn't have a limit condition. So you can make it to okay, make this value to be true. So if this condition is true, continue to run what is inside, and if the condition is false, stop, but make sure that there is a breakpoint in your what, in your code. And I can as well take, for example, I want to go back to this while loop now. I want to stop my code when it gets to a certain value. Okay, this guy now is 0 while I is less than 10. So continue uh, until if, let me just put if condition now, if I equals to 4, I want this code to what, to stop running, and that will be break. Sorry, let me be using brackets for your sake. Be used to this guy. So break, just use break keyword. Now what it means is that stop this loop whenever they can't get to what, the value of I gets to 4. So let's run it and see what will happen. Oh no, one thing is running again. Okay, our for loop, you want to mess me up, I won't agree. It's time to close. Can we see that it actually ran from 0 to 4 and stop, because we've already give it a condition that when the I value is equal to 4, then break the code, break the loop, don't continue. And as well, we can jump this value of 4. And how do we jump? We use the continue keyword. Continue, like if you want to jump a particular thing, like that time we were all in secondary school, that time they will tell you that when especially this noise making script, by the time they start calling names, say okay, for those people that their name is inside this paper here, or they will even use it this way: if you know that your name is here, come to this side. If you know that your name is not there, you can sit down. So like if you are beating and you are beating people that their name is actually inside the noise maker list, then when you get to those people that their name is not present there, you actually jump them. So that's the essence of this continue. Like if I is equal to 4, then jump. So now let's see what will happen. Father of Grace. I'm coming. What am I doing? Okay, let's see what will happen here. Let's see. Let's display it. Oh, something is wrong. What else again? I this, I this, I this, I this. I will close. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. If I equal to 4, continue. I plus plus. Why should that lead to an error? Sorry, it's time already. Not to be wasting our time. Let's just call it a day here tonight. Any question? Stop sharing. Hello, are we still together?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
I don't know if anybody have a question. Okay, should I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ah, what's question now, sir? I don't know what question to ask you orally except giving you a code to write. But let me ask this way. Ah, God. Okay, how many loop condition have we treated today, or do we treated today? I'm tired. My God. Hello. Are we
We
together?
treated one loop.
Okay.
Treated
For loop
one loop and while loop.
and do while. Okay, what's the difference between while loop and do while loop? Hello, what's the difference between while loop and do while loop?
Do while loop is when you give a condition and whether it is correct or not, you must do it first before
Yes,
anything, before you
yes,
conclude.
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the difference between for loop and while loop? Ah. Okay, the difference between for loop and while loop is for loop will always have initial value and the limit, the end condition, like the limit condition. Why while loop or do while loop doesn't necessarily need a limit condition, like start from here and ends here. Is that correct?
Yes, so
Sorry, is that clear rather? Okay, what's the difference between a boolean variable and an integer variable?
a boolean variable has to do with true or false. That is one or zero.
Oh,
Why? What's the next question, sir?
Teachers, whole number.
Why there is whole number?
that's correct.